Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Program directors, so I think there's two of you. You really hijacked me. I must first appreciate the men of the cloth, Bamfundis, Program directors, where I come from, the protocol dictates that when I address a gathering of this nature, I must acknowledge and speak through the most senior amongst us. So forgive me if I don't acknowledge you, but I'm going to salute the MEC. He's the one that brought us here, he's our senior amongst us. And by so doing, I've acknowledged everyone else that is in the house. On behalf of the over 21,000 police officers in the Republic of South Africa based in KwaZulu-Natal province, I'm standing here to give a message of support as I was invited, an invitation that came as an instruction that I must be here. I was told, MEC, that we're going to start at 12, and 12 o'clock became 12:30, and 12:30 became, I don't know what time that we end up starting with. But nonetheless, we're here. MEC, I must first appreciate your strategic leadership that you've shown today. When I was invited to come and attend this event, I thought it is the department thing. I thought I was going to be meeting a lot of civilians. And to my surprise, I met officers instead of civilians. Don't ask why we call you civilians and the others are officers. But at least I could relate with the majority in the room when I walked in. What makes me appreciate the most, MEC, is that these are men and women that work long hours in the most dangerous situations. And majority of the time, for the past 5 years I've been in this province, I've always seen them as people who feel neglected amongst all the employees within the department. So for you to take this decision to bring them together today to come and acknowledge them, it means a lot. To myself, Mr. Chetty, and the rest of the team. It is a sign of recognition that you've given to these hardworking men and women. And I'm sure out of all the employees that you have in the department, they are the only ones that are facing danger on the street. They get shot at. We've lost 2 colleagues in north of KZN, and I did not see much movement from the leadership after the shooting that happened around Bangeni when that incident happened. And there are many other incidents of that nature. I'm sure the colleagues from Union, Pop Crew, amongst others, will be able to talk to you about a lot of challenges that employees face. But on behalf of law enforcement in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the men and women in blue, as well as the Metro, other law enforcement officers that are here, those that are not here, I want to thank you for what you have done together with the HOD in arranging this event. And I do hope this is the beginning of many of these events to come. Some of the challenges that were raised here amongst, I think the Pop Crew was talking, in some of the services, MEC, there's one law enforcement agency in the Republic that is South African Police Service. We know that there are a lot of resources that RTI needs from the police. And we commit here before you and everyone that is here today that wherever there's a need of any service that must come from the SCPS, be it the funeral arrangements, amongst others, training venues, if it's possible for us to make those available, and many other assistance in terms of trainers and the like, so we'll make those available so that you can have a better trained law enforcement in the Republic. But otherwise, I hope we're all going to enjoy the party. Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. Let me greet your good self, Sohlaza Ndiema Mkhulu, and thank you for always doing a great job. But I'm not suggesting that RTI should do something whenever they come across with you on the road. But I'm just greeting you on that note. Whoever was designing the program did not take into cognizance that there are those who might be vertical or horizontally challenged. So it just took into cognizance only the certain range. It's one of those things. I hope the projection, it will not be reflecting that I was always gazing down. It's because that the mic is not accommodative of the situation. But let me thank you. That was on a lighter note. And I do want to thank even the core program directors of just done a sterling job. Eshoti Dlamini, who's in our midst, I hear that they still regard him as new. I'm sure we must revisit the concept new. What does it mean? Because he comes from government. He has been an HOD in his other life. I doubt that there is something new out of his character. Probably has just transferred to another journey, but I'm glad that we are still warmly welcoming him. 2 weeks ago, we had another engagement when we were saying that those who are just going to depart from the state government into the state, and one lady, Nondaba, is saying that, I feel very bad that angikwazanga nje ukushaya itoyitoyi phansi noDlamini phansi manje akusenzekanga. HOD Nontshongela, let us also greet you. There is an NC leadership, Kwabe, convener of eThekwini, Comrade Mkhize, coordinator, so Sihlalo Nobhala, Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Kwali Nkosi, we greet you and congratulate you for another 5-year term that you've been given, coming from the President and the Minister. The Excellence rolled the Speaker of eThekwini, Mtungwa Siyabingela kakhulu Bodlankomo. Thank you for ensuring that you also grace our shores. Councillor Cele, who is also a former Deputy Mayor in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the local municipality called KwaDukuza, we greet you. Chaplain Gawos, let us also greet you and thank you for your grace. Mshengo Swat, Siyabonga kakhulu ngomkhuleko. Let me greet all the chaplains and ambassadors that will work very well of the Department of Transport, and thank you for a good Passover. I'm sure God was with us. We felt the spirit and what transpired in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We've been blessed by the presence of Santaco leadership as led by Nondaba. Thank you, Nondaba Usihlalo, and Nobhala Ugcwabe Ngunezi. There is Sapowa leadership that is also present. There is Driving Schools Association, another Kakashe, iningi nje no Kakashe laphakathi, but I do want to greet the commanders who've just done a sterling job, who are responsible for the work that was projected today. If you can just stand on your feet, banibona ngaseyephike umvelase led by Ucheti. Okay. This is the team that was responsible in ensuring that the province of KwaZulu-Natal, there is a paradigm shift led by HOD Dlamini. A lot has happened. I do want us to give them a huge round of applause. Thank you so much. You may be seated. We have Nongalo, who's playing a critical role, an ambassador in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Nongalo, siyakubingelela ngiyafisa sisukume simshayele izandla as well. Surely you all agree that he was only disqualified because of PESALT. Otherwise, he was also going to be part and parcel of those who were going to receive something. We all agree on that one. So Nongalo, ibanjiwe into yakho mfowethu siyibambe kahle, siyabonga kakhulu. So I do want to greet everyone who's here today and the excellent job that was done by HOD and your collective, and I'm glad that it has to come to this. We've started this journey and the trajectory, I'm sure, because all of you are coming from this province. There's been a state of a lull in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. I grew up in an area where I knew that from time to time there will be roadblocks, and I knew that they will say that please open your boot. They were going to change the VIN, they were going to check the VIN number. Then all of a sudden it just vanished from the process. Ngoba sihlala kuyona sifunda sathi no, there is a need to revisit that concept. We spend quality time. I do want, as you also give a huge round of applause, jointly take into cognizance that this success was also embraced by the presence of SAPS in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Was the metro in the province of KwaZulu-Natal participated jointly with Home Affairs in some instances. We've got BMA and Department of Health and all other secondary cities with traffic departments, because this is a joint effort. It is not possible that only through the Department of Transport and RTI that you could just balance the equations. It takes into cognizance a lot of issues. There is one revolutionary coming from the civic movement, born and bred in the United States of America, is writing, I open the quote of what he said. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. We are talking at the level of basic, a peasantry level, that there is no role that is minute or that is not critical in nature. And in this context, we are elevating that even someone who's sweeping the floor, you can even gaze upon that direction and say, this is the best sweeper I've recognized. Today, we are emulative of such concept that ordinarily you could just wake up and say that I'm just going to do what is required out of me. There are stories today in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which I'm glad that amongst the beneficiaries of these awards, HOD, is the man called Ndabezinhle Sibiya, a man who does not sleep, a man who always dream about ensuring that there is a projection. And I was worried a bit, HOD, we did not even talk about this, that because it's part and parcel of packaging this, he was not going to allow that his name is going to be put in free. A very humble character, a soul who does not require to be projected or to be profiled or be promoted. But he has just focused his direction that I'm just going to take RTI as if it's his project. I'm glad that symbolic gesture of a pillow, ngiyafisa ukuthi mnikeze ithuba athi ukulala ukumbona live ngabo 1 o'clock ebusuku uthe ngabo rula mathi izothi into yakhe I send a message ngabo 4. It's a certain type and a caliber that is going to change, that is going to shift the focus. KwaZulu-Natal, we boast with almost 600-kilometer coastline. We've got beautiful road traffic concept. We've got proper network, into entry and other corridors that have been developed. We boast with beautiful mountains. We have safari and the best genetics in the entire continent. So it means that those who are given an assignment to take control of the state apparatus, you must be mindful that as you do your work, you are also safeguarding the territory for investment to take place in the province, attracting more tourists, ensuring that this becomes a good concept, contribution towards ensuring the cleanness of the country called South Africa and the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which is why we are always delighted whenever they talk about something big in terms of RTI, we thought of this department. There are good stories. I'm sure, Mr. Simpson, if I was going to consult you, you are not going to give nod or agree on this. I've been asked by different provinces that we are hearing a story, MEC Dumab, that there is a man who came across with his wife and arrested his wife. Is that real? I'm saying, yes, I know one Mr. Simpson who hails from Bahrain is always on the guard, is always on the road. We need such type. When you take the oath, it must go beyond your understanding, which is why I was saying that we take pride as well, Mkhwanazi, when we hear other provinces saying that we also honor the role that has been played by SABS in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The role of SABS has been good in promoting the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The role of RTI. I have not even shared with the story that in one of the state of the provincial address, I saw the brief report and what they were sharing, videos. They were projecting RTI in the province, and I had to call the Premier. Premier, are you aware that we are going to deliver a state of the provincial report with a background reflecting RTI from KwaZulu-Natal? The team did not realize, I'm saying that ruler also contaminated this environment. The ruler, just make sure that you set the boundaries, don't encroach in other spaces, let other comms play their role as well. So I was just also highlighting that the issue of moral ethos, there was a need for a paradigm shift, Kawos, that there was once a time as well in the land where you knew. I've just realized that although we still have to do a proper data analysis in Nkwabe, in the entire province, whether there is a concept in research called correlation versus causation. Correlation, it means that what you do sequentially, it must lead to that if you say there is a relationship. Bakhona ke as abantu yabona control ba support team umuntu uyabona uzitshela ukuthi mose groundini vele win Kaizer Chiefs mose uzitshela ukuthi win is when ile lesikhuluma ngaye correlation versus causality and we have nothing to do with it ngenze nibambe kalula abafowethu kodwa ke i-correlation is that the issue of drunken driving, does it equate to more fatalities, more accidents? I'm sure someone is able to take the data now that why there was an decrease, 18% decrease of fatalities in the province of KwaZulu-Natal is because we didn't take any nonsense. Everyone who understands that whether I'm going to come from Joburg using Harrismith, Van Renen route, whether you come from Kolela, Swatrin, as you enter from Pongolo, as you enter from Port Edward, from Eastern Cape, from Kokstad, from Underberg, if you come from Lesotho, you knew that once you enter KwaZulu-Natal, there is already a sudden change. I went to January 8, Mtungwa, in Northwest. When comrades realized that there is Dumab, they just whispered, "Are you coming with RTI?" I said, no, you are safe in this province. I'm not coming with RTI. Today. But I'm saying that everyone could hear and feel and touch that there is a sudden shift. I must tell you in particular, this high table HOD, that we have not added a new variant or new ingredients. We are working with the machinery that has been there. What is new? We just told them that they are equivalent to the task. They are equal to the task. This is their journey. They will be supported wholeheartedly. So that's what we told them. Then there was a sudden shift, and I'm sure even these gestures, the token of appreciation, I'm sure next year, somewhere who comes from Mpanga and say that Midway got more, followed by Bahrain, I want to do the best so that there is I'm sure we've created a healthy competition. Isn't it good, team? Already someone wants to be the best in this field. It's what we have done. And it is the little we could do. On the issue of promotion, I've spoken already with the HOD that if we had more leeways, it was going to be easy. Unfortunately, the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Department of Transport, over the MTF, we're going to lose 2 billion. So juxtapose the reality. Whether do we absorb more system, put more incentives, or build new roads? Because our jurisdiction, our mandate is to develop and build more roads in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. So we'll negotiate, but there is a healthy relationship. I do want to thank the role that has been played by POP and the role that has been played by Nehau in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. So Uzwide spoke very well in that process, and Ukwabe spoke very well. We invited the COSATU secretary, and I saw him earlier on, and by the time I took the podium, I don't know whether he's still available, because we want to come across with the process of ensuring that the concept of unity, which must prevail and which is sacrosanct, must just hover almost everywhere. President Madiba and his collective were arrested for years so that we could be liberated. I'm sure in the past, if you're an African, you could not qualify, you wouldn't qualify to be a provincial commissioner. Provincial Mkhwanazi, with all his criteria, with all the credibility, he was not going to be given this platform. It is only because of the new dispensation that was brought by the ANC, by President Madiba. So you must always be mindful of such. For those of you today who are commanders, in particular the Africans, you are not going to be accorded that, because you were only designed to be the slave and serve the white people, the domination. So just imagine Pixley Gasemes of this world, the brilliant mind in terms of mathematics. The only position they could give him, today, this kind of government, once you are exposed, once you ascend, you are then going to be promoted. But ngiyazi ukuthi niyashesha ukukhohlwa njengabantwana baka-Israel. Ngiyambona sonilukela kahle Egypt. It's something that we must work, but the dedication will rely upon your strength that we must change. I'm honored that this department, since the inception, has been led by ANC deployees. We started this journey from Mazalankos. And up until today, all the predecessors have been coming from the ANC. The entire road network, abanye benu grew up without seeing the tar. Even in rural areas now, they are tarred road. It is because of this new dispensation. And just understand that you do have a duty to ensure that we change the mood. And we are hopeful that you'll continue to be the good steward. And I'm glad and delighted that even in social media, Nongalo and the rulers team, you are hearing a lot of sentiment that we wonder what has happened. These RTI, they don't even want our drink anymore. Yangijabulisa lo nto ukuthi anisathathi kwa drink, ama salaries enu are adequate, which is why that we are going to incentivize you even further so that you continue and push and make us proud as the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The minister is going to come and highlight what transpired over the last 4 days, but for us, it has been the last 2 weeks. We started inspecting the buses, the taxis on the road of the journey, the pilgrimage for amakholwa enkonzweni. We had to ensure that we do a safeguard process, ensuring that the province of KwaZulu-Natal remains intact. And I'm sure a majority of you came across with a joint operation. We are clear in the process. If there is something that equivalent to a crime, SAPS is always going to take over. If there is issue of illegality in terms of your document, BMA was always there, Home Affairs was always there. Then we've got metros in a process of a eThekwini, then we've got RTI. We had to ensure that we clean. It's just coincidental. I don't know, noma uzwide noma ugcwabe labathi siconcentrate kakhulu esilungwini. Ngithi nje mina uHashtag nenzane ezweni ngifisa ufana nomoya kaNkuluNkulu uthinte wonke nje umuntu. I-street neStreet saKwaZulu-Natal must be cleansed. Wonke umuntu ufana ufeel ukuthi hayi akhona amaphoyisa omgwaqo. And the research consistently has reflected that if you've seen a traffic officer for the next 100 kilometers, you'll be conscientized that you must be able to understand that you are taking into cognizance other motorists, other pedestrians, and other people on the road and other road users. So we do have that duty and we are going to proceed. Yes, we've started this journey. We've agreed with the HOD that next year it's going to be big. Next year we'll ensure that we embrace almost all the theorem. Siyohlanganyela ke nkwale nkosi ngithandile na that extension ukuthi usubs kufanele siwusebenzise. Ngiyahala nje mengihlangana nephoyisa lingithinta ngifisa ukuthi ngilizwe lifithi ngaphezulu kwami lingawenza umsebenzi. So ngiyafisa ukuthi sibe kulo level ukuthi ke i-process extensive training ikwazi uNatal ihlonishwe njengomsebenzi omuhle that we are doing, and so far you are doing an excellent job. Keep on doing the good job, and congratulations in particular to Midway. Followed is you've done a sterling job. I'm sure you are going to excel in what we do, but for me all of you are the winners. All of you deserve a huge round of applause because it takes a collective effort. Ngiyabazi ukuthi abanye bangakhala kade ngibatshela ke Gawozi ukuthi uN2 noN3 vele ukunikeza iunfair advantage. Uyabona kuyajabulisa ukubona umuntu wasenquthu nestrata esisodwa naye ukuthi uqhamukile ngoba phela laba abanye vele bano national road uN2 noN3 vele izimoto suke zigijima le abantu osimsindi kwakuyi Ferrari. And just imagine the excitement, the issue. So I think the terrain of Starkly where we operate, the material condition, it's something, but we must mention that where honor is due, the accolade is going to come. I'm so proud of you. I wish I had more in terms of value and the currents, but we are doing a sterling job. Whenever I come across with RTI, my heart just melts that these men and women are doing a great job and excellent. Even the minister is notified that. Even the president of the country has said that there is something that is being cooked in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Continue doing it. You are more than welcome to complement and supplement our effort in terms of the vision. Thank you so much, Baba President.